Hi guys, you know that I love my cancelled games, my unreleased games, and Strictly Limited games currently have a Black Friday sale that's running from I think the 24th of November until the 12th of December. Not sure when this video will actually go up, but during that time you can get 20% off any items in stock. And obviously they do like modern games and this, that and the other, but they also do unreleased games like Mega Drive games, which is super exciting. Didn't quite realise they did you know, old retro games, because they do some like recreations of old games that did actually get released on, you know, the Super Nintendo or the Mega Drive or the NES, but they also do stuff like this. So we've got two unreleased games. We've got Madstalker Full Metal 4th, a game that I have covered in my cancelled game series. Now this, I believe, originally came out on the Sharp X68000, and yeah, they're really nicely made. The packaging looks great, and I'll show you some close-ups of the packaging and everything. You've got the cart in there and the manual, all looks really well made, and that's awesome. And then we've got this one, Zero Tolerance Origins, which is a 2-in-1. So it's the original Zero Tolerance, which did get a release on the Mega Drive, but then we've got an unreleased sequel included as well, Zero Tolerance Underground, and again really nicely done. We've got the manual and car, and there's some Zero Tolerance like little cards in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up each of these games in the Mega Drive and just record a bit of footage and show you them and how they look. And yeah, like I said, if you want to grab any of these games yourself, or any of the other Super Nintendo or Mega Drive or whatever games they have over, or even modern stuff over on you know, Strictly Limited website, then there's a link down below and you can get 20% off until the 12th of December.
Madstalker Full Metal 4th was originally released in 1994 on the Sharp X68000. It was ported to FM Towns and PC Engine CD and later the PlayStation, but the planned Mega Drive port was cancelled until its 2020 release. This is a side-scrolling beat-em-up where you take control of a mech. Gameplay is simple: walk and fight your way through the stages, defeating enemies and bosses along the way. Controls are light attack with A, strong attack with B, and press both to block. Pressing towards and B will throw an enemy if near enough, both on the ground and in the air. You can also double jump. Then you have special moves: double tap towards and press attack to do a dash attack, double tap down and press attack to do a shoryuken like uppercut, and press down towards attack to fire a shot. This is the story mode, the main game, consisting of 6 stages. It can get quite repetitive as you have limited moves and the enemies are all some form of mech or drone. It does feel really old school Mega Drive though, with the visuals and especially with the soundtrack. Again, this can get a bit repetitive, but it's pretty good. On the menu you can change between 3 difficulty levels, continue from where you left off, and there's also a versus mode. Here you can fight a friend or computer opponent, and there are various mechs from which to choose. Each mech has a set of special moves similar to the story mode, and each is performed using some combination of D-pad inputs and attack. Some are far more capable than others, so this mode is very unbalanced with some mechs. Madstalker is a great little piece of cancel game history on the Mega Drive, and although it probably doesn't have a ton of longevity, it's a fun addition to the collection. Then we have Zero Tolerance Origins. As I mentioned, the original game is included, but what's quite funny is that its inclusion really highlights how bad the original was. I mean, a first person shooter with these controls was always going to be tricky. What Zero Tolerance Underground, the unreleased sequel, does is it adds what they refer to as modern controls. This is great as it makes full use of the extra buttons on a 6-button pad. The D-pad now controls forward and backwards movement and strafing left and right. You now turn the character using A and C for left and right respectively, with B shooting. So this control setup sort of imitates a dual stick setup. Then you use the other buttons X, Y and Z for ducking, jumping and switching weapons. Although the original, released in 1994 on the Mega Drive, was quite well regarded, this new control setup really improves the game no end. A shame the original didn't implement this really. If you haven't played it, you can see the first person gameplay mimics early DOS first person shooters like Wolfenstein 3D. The play area window is quite small, with the rest of the screen being reserved for the top-down radar/map, your character's ID, and some info on your equipped gun and items. The aim is to eliminate all enemies on a level. The levels can be made up of many rooms and the maps can be quite maze-like. The number of enemies remaining on a given level are displayed on the left of the screen there, with your health on the right side. Extra health, better weapons and grenades can all be picked up. There's also a bio scanner which helps you locate any remaining enemies, which can be useful for those last few stragglers. A full map can be brought up by pausing, which shows the full level rather than the limited local radar on screen. There are several characters from which to choose, each having different skills and strengths. Quite basic with visuals as you'd expect, but when you actually think about what this is and the fact it's on Mega Drive, they've actually done a superb job with the graphics and presentation. You just have to forgive that awful draw distance. The sound design is good and there's some great speech when you pick up items. This is great playing Zero Tolerance with better controls because that was always something that put me off the game. I found myself actually really enjoying playing this with the modern control setup. Definitely recommend trying this one out even if you're just curious, but especially if you were a fan of the original and want a heightened experience. So there we go guys, Strictly Limited Games have a few of these unreleased games available for several platforms, and as I said, it's 20% off anything in stock until the 12th of December, including all their limited modern release stuff. Discount is automatically applied at checkout, so you don't need a code. Treat yourself. Thanks for watching.